Hello everyone and welcome to Pushing Positivity on the Pier, episode 6, where we introduce amazing people, take a deeper look into their story, and share how they're making positivity actionable each day. I'm Josh Schiller, and today we are joined by Brian Johnson, a fitness professional and personal trainer at Crunch in Hoboken, New Jersey, a holistic health and wellness student, and the creator of the Balance of Being. Welcome to the show, sir.
Happy to be here, my friend. Appreciate you having me on.
Oh,
A little bit of mouthful to start the show, huh?
I mean, the titles are always the best part, and I think that really speaks to the people that are on the show.
Absolutely.
Because they're not one-dimensional.
Yeah.
A lot of titles,
Yeah, absolutely.
but a lot of impact as well.
Happy to be here on this gorgeous morning with you, chatting up about something I'm passionate about.
Where are you from?
So I'm from Nyack, New York. For everyone who doesn't know, it's in Rockland County, about 40 minutes away from here, about 30 miles north of Hoboken. I grew up in an area that I was blessed enough to have a ton of kids my age, so always outside, playing any sport you can imagine.
College?
College, I went to University of Massachusetts in Amherst. Actually, the town of Amherst very similar to Nyack. Not on the water, but I mean just the general feel for it. Kind of a little bit of an artsier town, but on the other hand, you had 5 colleges within about 4 miles. My dad's a mechanical engineer, Manhattan for the past 30 or so years. Loves it. I've always been really good at math and science, so he kind of steered me in a direction with not knowing what I wanted to do in college to go into engineering. My older brother was smart enough to say no. I found it interesting. There's a lot of work. The first year, they definitely kind of tried to wean out, I wouldn't say the weak, but the ones that aren't really driven to stay in that field, because it's a lot of work. I did okay grade-wise, but I knew I didn't want to be behind a desk. I'd be constantly doing math and science all day long. My dad loves it, and God bless him. UMass was easily some of the best 4 years of my life, but also definitely something that led me to the path I'm on now. I was always pretty much of a social person, but that definitely helped kind of make a lot more connections, but it also led to a lot more imbalances.
Let's talk a little bit about the imbalances that you spoke about. So I think a lot of people can relate to having imbalances in life, right?
Absolutely.
So you were talking from a college perspective. What were some of those imbalances that you were going through, and at what point did you understand that they were imbalances?
I was in a fraternity at UMass and wouldn't change it for the world, but being in that fraternity, you're in a lot of social settings where there's drinking, a lot of partying, and I felt that was okay because I'd be balancing it out with lifting almost every day, improperly by the way, until I came to Crunch, and playing a ton of basketball, because that was my cardio. So I'd sweat it all out. I pretty much, like I said, I lived at the gym.
So you can't cure a weekend of partying by drinking cold-pressed juices, you're telling me?
Doesn't quite work that way. Doesn't quite work that way. The juices definitely help.
Yep.
But it's not, and people understand this when they feel their hangovers for more than just an hour or two, and it starts lasting longer and longer. It's internally, your body's changing. When you're poisoning your body that often, it's breaking down. And the reason it's not responding well is not just because, it happens with age. It's because you're not as healthy as you were when you were younger.
So let's talk about that a little bit. So now you're in the fraternity, right? Constantly probably drinking. When did you have that realization that, hey, you know what? There's an imbalance here?
The thing is, I think in school, I wasn't very conscious to the fact that I was very much of living in the moment. It's the things I'm doing now, I'm balancing out with basketball and working out, and I'm just gonna enjoy school. When we get into the real world, I started getting, when I would do these things, like drinking, I would start getting on myself and feeling guilty that, I'm either wasting a night or I'm wasting the following day by trying to recover when I could be doing anything from going outside and whatever. It could be anything.
And that was after college, you'd say?
That was after college, yeah.
Okay, so now let's go back. You're going for mechanical engineering, right? Following in Dad's footsteps.
Yeah.
At what point did you pivot, and why did that pivot happen?
So like I said, I wasn't happy with engineering. The other students that were in the classes with me, I didn't mesh with. It wasn't something that I could sustain doing for the rest of my life, or something that I would have the drive to get better in, to improve in. But then my sophomore year, a couple buddies from my hometown went to UMass as freshmen, came into UMass. Close friends of mine from Nyack. And 3 different majors. One was engineering, one was sports marketing, the other was kinesiology. And I knew I was kind of in the market to change my major. And like I said, I've always loved, since about my junior year, I guess I have my older brother to thank for this, I've loved working out. Switching majors to kinesiology my sophomore year was the best decision I ever made. Because what is cooler than learning why your body does what it does?
So now let's fast forward a little bit. We graduate with a kinesiology degree.
Mm-hmm. Bachelor's in Science and Kinesiology.
Okay, so what's the next step?
So next step is, still know I'm passionate about the body. I have no clue where I want to take that. So just like anyone would do, you try it out. You don't know you're going to love something or not love something until you do it. So I pretty much explored every single area of the field. First started with cardiac and pulmonary rehab at a hospital called Helen Hayes in Haverstraw, New York. So probably like 20-minute drive from me, where I interned under an amazing guy, Dr. Stephen Lichtman, who, I'm telling you, when you introduced me before, 2 or 3 things, this guy, you'd still be introducing him right now. I'm not kidding you. He literally, like, the head of so many foundations, and he's in the middle of writing 3 or 4 textbooks, and the guy was so passionate about, like, helping people in general. That was only first summer. And that was followed by one of my dad's buddies has a chiropractic firm in Blauvelt. So I got to do about a week or 2 with him. And that was where I thought I really wanted to be, because I love holistic health.
So holistic health.
Yeah.
Let's define that. What is everybody hears it? What is it?
So it's the idea that the body shouldn't be compartmentalized into just one aspect of health, meaning just eating well, just focusing on nutrition, or just working out in the gym 3 or 4 times a week. It's combination of body and mind, the effect that the two have on each other, how they're not 2 separate entities. They're one, they're whole. I guess even though it's not spelt the same way, holistic means whole health, full body health.
So now we worked in Helen Hayes. We've now worked in a chiropractor office. Mm-hmm. What's the next steps?
So after that, chiropractic was definitely the most interesting to me so far. I still wanted to try other things as well. I thought I wanted to go, by being a kinesiology major, that I wanted to go into physical therapy. Pretty much, if you go into PT, kinesiology, there's not a ton of avenues.
Let's talk about kinesiology. What's kinesiology?
Kinesiology is defined as the study of movement of the human body. So yeah, a lot of people, my dad still can't even spell it to this day. He barely
spell it right now. Can you spell kinesiology? I'll give you a second. Can you do it?
Now you're putting me on the spot.
All right, let's see.
K-I-N. E-S. I-O-L-O-G-Y.
Google it. So now we're going to be a personal trainer, right? So for anybody that wants to be a personal trainer, I've heard from numerous people that there's all these different certifications, right? There's NASM, there's all these different ones. What is that path?
So I'd say there's 3 main ones, at least that I know that Crunch accepts, and that's NASM, ACSM, and one that I have called ACE, American Council on Exercise.
So now we got our certification.
Got the cert.
Right? What'd you do with it?
For some reason, I knew I wanted to be down here in Hoboken.
On the pier.
On the pier.
Pushing positivity.
Exactly. I saw this in my mind years ago. This exact moment. So one of my good buddies raved about Hoboken, and we're very similar in our thinking. We would have conversations like this every time we saw each other. Pretty close growing up, and he moved down here with his girlfriend, and one of the first jobs I applied to, one of the first ones I saw was Hoboken. I was like, I'm applying to it. Turns out that the next day, I got an email back from my current manager, Tyler Woodman, and I was his first ever hire as he became fitness manager.
Let's talk about why Crunch. I mean, all the gyms in the world, why Crunch?
Why Crunch? I knew I wanted to be a trainer. I knew this was the area that I wanted to be in, like I said, from speaking to my buddy and just coming down here a couple times and realizing how gorgeous it is of a town on the water. Big health craze down here. Everyone's younger, fit, walking around with their kids, with their dogs, stuff like that. Everyone's outside.
Yep.
If only the weather was like this year round. And it just happened so Crunch was just in very high demand for trainers, and I really didn't know much about it at all. And once I came in for the interview with Tyler, things just clicked.
So we're at Crunch.
We're at Crunch.
You're in Hoboken.
Mm-hmm.
Your vision has come to fruition,
Mm-hmm.
right? So what is your official title, or what is your role at Crunch?
So fitness professional, personal trainer, because it's more than just one-on-one sessions with people. It's more than just the 2 or 3 hours that you see me in the week. You're on my mind, your focus, we're strength training. And the reason that when we do our one-on-one sessions, it's more strength training and cardio based is because muscle is your body's best fat burner. So we focus on those things in getting your basically functional movement. We make sure we're getting your mobility back and we're strengthening the proper things. The core muscles like your lats, your abs, your glutes, things that will protect your lower back, protect your shoulders, important joints that you're going to need down the line. But it's the reason coined like fitness professionals, because it's more you're guiding them on nutrition, because so much of what their goals depend on happens outside of the gym.
So let's talk about that a little bit, because we're really big on making things actionable here.
Mm-hmm.
Not only on pushing positivity on Pier, but HIGH5iVER as well.
Mm-hmm.
So in your experience, where are maybe 2 or 3 areas that you see that people have that imbalance?
One of the biggest things easily is nutrition. People say, I know, and that's exactly what I'm trying to get away from and build kind of with the balance of being, is more of just not just saying.
So how do they mess up?
Missing meals is a big one. Meal timing's so important. Say you miss breakfast, for example. Last time you ate was dinner at 7 p.m. the night before, which it should be. So then we'll say, hypothetically, waking up at 7 a.m. It's 12 hours. You're grabbing a coffee and you're heading off to work. You're skipping breakfast. Next time you eat, because of the caffeine kind of keeping you energized with fake fuel is what I call it. Next time you eat is noon. So what is that? 5 more hours? So you're going 17 hours without fueling your body. People don't realize that. So your body goes into defense mode. Number one, you're gonna probably overconsume at lunch. So you're gonna eat more than your body's comfortable with digesting. So you're probably gonna be then tired after that meal, because all of your body's blood flow and attention is going to your stomach to digest that huge load. So you're not digesting it very easily, and then also your body being in defense mode, it doesn't know when it's gonna get its next meal. So when you wait 17 hours at a 24-hour day, it's like, it goes back to prehistoric times. It's like, oh, are we like scavenging for our food? When are we gonna find our next meal? What are we gonna have to hunt, kill, find, whatever, pick? We don't know we're gonna get it. So we're gonna hold on to those calories for when we need it in the future. So messing on meal timing is a huge one.
Don't skip meals.
Don't skip meals.
Number one, don't skip meals.
Don't skip meals. And everything else, kind of like the volume of how much you're eating, which some people have an issue with, everything else kind of sorts itself out.
How many meals per day? Because you hear some people 3 meals, some people 6 meals, people snack here.
Yeah.
Like how many meals per day should
5
people be
total
looking
meals, 3 main, 2 mini meals or snacks.
Okay.
With the idea of you want to keep your blood sugar, maintain your blood sugar throughout the day. It's when you spike and drop through the big gaps of either missing meals or whatever, where your body then doesn't respond to insulin well. The spike and drops is what you want to completely avoid in the body. So I'd say have a big breakfast.
What does that look like? What type of breakfast?
Like for me, I have a 3 or 4 egg omelet every morning.
Are we in carbs? How do you feel about carbohydrates? Right? Everybody's like, I can't eat carbs. Like, how?
So it's a great question. It depends on what your goals are, but it also depends on what your activity is like that day. I'm a big fan and promoter of syncing your daily nutrition to your activity level. Are you gonna go to the gym for an hour and a half? Are you gonna do a hot yoga where you're gonna be pouring out sweat and burning a ton of calories? Do you have a flag football game later tonight? I mean real strong physical activity that takes a lot out of you.
Maybe we're working out an hour a day, right? 45 minutes to an hour a day. If that's the case, are we eating oatmeal? Can we eat toast? Like, should we be eating fruit? Does it have too much sugar, right? What does that like complete breakfast look like?
Make it as balanced as you can. I'd say make that the most calorie dense probably meal of your day. So balance it out with all 3 macros. So like I said, the 3 or 4 egg omelet. Then I'll have half an avocado, and then because I do train often, I'll have like an English muffin, or maybe if I don't have toast or an English muffin, maybe an hour later I'll have like a thing of oatmeal, just because my body's going to demand those carbs as energy, because that's your body's preferred fuel source.
So we had breakfast, right? Now we're maybe 2 or 3 hours later, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what is that snack? I would guess.
Yeah.
What does that snack look like?
Snack is ideally, if you want to eat the most clean, is apple with almond butter.
What's another choice for a good snack?
1 scoop of protein powder is a good one, or nuts.
Okay. Roasted. Can it be honey roasted, right?
It depends on how healthy you want to be.
Right? Like, how does that work?
Yeah.
Should you be going for the wasabi ones? I mean, like, how does that work?
Ideally, I just like lightly salted, just so you have a little bit of flavor and it doesn't feel like a chore to have the snack.
Okay, now we're at lunch. What does lunch look like?
Ideally, heavy salad.
Heavy salad.
Dense,
nutritionally dense.
Tons of dark greens.
Okay.
With a protein. So, salmon, tuna, chicken, turkey, a lean meat, some sort of lean meat. If you're training hard that day, or you didn't really have much carbs for breakfast, so you're feeling low energy, and the apple almond butter and stuff didn't do it for you, which it would. But maybe you missed that or something. Adding something like a sweet potato on the side. It has way lower of a glycemic index than a normal potato, so it won't spike your blood sugar as much. So that's good lunch.
Now we're doing a snack again, right? So we could do what we did before.
Yeah.
Right? Some variation on that.
I'd keep the same snack.
So now we're doing dinner.
Dinner.
Right? So obviously rigatoni bolognese, right?
Exactly. Gotta be. As heavy a dinner as no, I'm just kidding. So it's usually pretty similar to lunch. You could even do the same exact thing that you did for lunch. But it's really going to echo what your goals are, whether that's weight maintenance, whether you're trying to put on muscle and weight, or you're trying to lose. And that's pretty much the same with every meal as you're going on volume-wise. But 2 things that are going to stay the same is meal timing and just the foundations of what you're eating, meaning lean, healthy, like lean meats, dense in vegetables and fruits throughout the entire day. These are things that make your digestive system and your body the most happy.
So now we've had dinner, very similar to lunch, right? Snack, how do you feel about snack before bed? You don't eat an hour before bed? Like, how does that work?
Ideally, I would say not right before bed. I think the hour rule is good, but it also depends on how long you're staying up. You know, if you're having dinner at 7 o'clock and then you're not going to bed till midnight, your body probably needs something else. Even though you're winding down, your body probably needs something else to kind of hold you down until whenever you might be waking. So You're very much about making things actionable. As am I. Two very important things that are going to help: knowing what you're exerting throughout the course of the day, and also understanding connecting that to the volume and syncing that to the volume of food that you're eating, and then being able to make sure those numbers correlate to make sure you're either losing weight or gaining weight and stuff like that. There are many fitness apps out there, and I know people are big on having Fitbits and Apple Watches and stuff that track your calories and your exertion levels throughout the day. That's an unbelievable baseline to have. Even though they're not going to be spot on and perfect, that gives you a great idea of how many calories you're burning throughout the course of the day. And then using things like MyFitnessPal or something similar to that. I know there's many out there that you can log your food, and not only does it make it a conscious act to say, this is what I'm eating, I have to keep myself accountable because I see it on there, or I have to show my trainer or something, but it also gives you a good idea of the calories that you're consuming throughout the course of the day. So those are great tools that I recommend to my clients. You need to first know and recognize the daily routines and thoughts that you're having and doing that have gotten you to the current place that you're at, and then questioning them. You have to have them be completely at the center of your focus and attention to be able to...
What are some of those questions?
Okay, here's a great example. For years, when I was working out in college, I thought I knew how to lift. Simple. Just because I was getting results. I was looking bigger, I was feeling good, but then pain in my shoulder, pain in my elbow. And I would just say, oh, but I have a good pump and my weights are going up, so I'm doing it the right way. I wasn't conscious enough to say, hold on, that pain isn't something I should be pushing through. Am I doing this the wrong way? Is my workout actually hurting me? Even though I'm not questioning the fact that this pain could turn into something in the future. It could turn into having to get shoulder surgery. But hey, in the moment, I feel good and I look good. That's just questioning the effectiveness of your routines.
So now we have the nutrition piece down. Yeah. Right? Now we're becoming more conscious. We're asking ourselves the right questions, right? So in terms of activity level, in terms of coming to the gym, so obviously if people wanted to come to Crunch and see what you did in that realm in terms of going to the gym, people can come see you for that. Let's say people can't make it to the gym. Mm-hmm. Right? Let's just be realistic here. For whatever reason, they can't make it to the gym. What are some ways that they can stay active throughout their day to make sure that they're still getting that activity level that they need?
Absolutely.
In a sustainable way.
So I'd say, especially people who are stuck behind a desk for the majority of the day, constantly with their head and their eyes locked on the computer, just every half hour to hour, getting up, going to get some water, talking to people, going to someone else's office. Remember what it feels like to be a human and connect with someone. Have a conversation about anything, but just stand up, move, get some blood flow in the hips, move the position. I can't tell you how many people have come in to see me who are sitting staring at a computer the whole day with severe neck pain. It's unbelievable what activating your core can fix. So I tell my clients, neck pain, even in neck pain and issues in lower back, I'm like, push your chair away, do a hand plank on the ground.
So more actionable ways that people, if they're not going to make it to the gym, how else could they get some because activating the core, all these things, those are little conscious things, right? How can they still get some type of activity level? Is it using the stairs instead of an elevator? What are some ways that people can still get in some type of workout?
Stairs instead of the elevator is a great one. I also think just at home, you don't have to go to the gym. You don't have to have a set of dumbbells or something like that. You can modify anything that you're doing in the gym in your house, whether that's going onto the kitchen counter and doing box push-ups where you're just raising the ground. You can do a plank anywhere, and that's one of the most beneficial exercises you're going to have for your entire body, and just creating as much tension as you possibly can throughout your whole entire body. So planking, doing things like push-ups, or Anything that you can make a little cycle of in your own house would benefit you.
Okay, so now we have the nutrition piece, we have the activity levels. You've been a trainer now at Crunch for some time. So let's talk about the balance of being. What is it?
It's currently a blog, and it's going to manifest into so much more than that. And it's going to eventually build into an educational course of how to treat your body. Mind and body connected, all in one. What makes you whole and how to keep that balance.
This is really the time where I'd like to kick it over to you. You know, last week we had Adam San Miguel on the show, and he talked about the 3 W's, which I think if you haven't seen them, definitely check out the interview from last week, but definitely check out the 3 W's at the end of the episode. What are some guiding principles that help you in your day that maybe you could pass on to them?
Absolutely.
And make some things actionable?
So, about a month ago, I've had the idea in my head for quite some time. I created what's called a consciousness card, and it's something I definitely recommend you guys doing for yourselves. And they can have any guiding belief, powerful statement or quote, or anything you live your life by that you follow. And the 3 that are on mine, and I have it right here, just took it out of my wallet, with of course balance being on the back there. First one is that every feeling is temporary. The second one is fully focus on one task at each time. And the third one being life is service oriented.
So the consciousness card.
Yes, sir.
You get a high five for that.
Nice.
That's awesome. What a good way to have that daily reminder to be more present, right? So now, if people wanted to get in contact with you, what's the best way to do so?
So there's 3 main ways that you can contact me directly, and first of all is through my website, The Balance of Being, and that's thebalanceofbeing.co. Secondly, I recently created an Instagram page for it, and that is at Balance of Being. So there's no the in front of it. And third, I'd love to hear your takeaway from this interview, from the post I share. Like I said, one of the biggest reasons that I created it is to connect with people, to share what I've learned that's benefited me in the hopes that it will do the same for you. So contacting me directly through email at Johnson, JOHNSON, .BRIAN924 at gmail.com is another way to reach me.
So that was BRIAN.
Yes, sir.
All right, Johnson.Brian.
Johnson.Brian924 at gmail.com.
They didn't have 923? Where's that?
Birthday, baby. September 24th. Great day. Mark your calendars.
So, on that note, there's
sir.
really 2 things left.
Okay.
Number 1 is just thank you so much for coming here.
Friend.
Thank you for taking time out of your morning to spend with all of us and provide some actionable value, some actionable positivity, and some actionable awareness that everyone can take into their day. And then maybe the most important thing of the entire time we've got to spend together. Here
Warming it up.
Have a great day, man.
Pleasure, brother.